for the fact that your business is not correlated to the market. Closings continue to happen every day regardless, right? And do not walk into these market shifts with a sense of fear. Your business will change, but you're not going to go out of business. And really, there's a lot of low-hanging fruit in any given part of the cycle. And that's what we need to kind of keep in mind here. Let's not get out of business. Let's not think, oh, this whole thing's turning around for the better. Shifting, because as you guys well know, we are in the middle of the beginning stages of actually a massive market shift. It isn't hard to realize that this was coming, right? This was very telegraphed, if you will. But it goes by the old thing, like when you're up, you never feel like you're gonna come down. When you're down, you never feel like you're gonna come up. I know when the market was great back in 2003 and 4, everybody just thought this was gonna happen forever. And when it was down, nobody thought it would come back up. When I was out of real estate, working on an oil rig, I never thought I'd sell real estate again, honestly. Human nature, right, to think like this. But we have to try to realize that outside, it's Mother Nature, right, and it cycles, and it's just gonna go through cycles. And when they came out with the data on inflation, that was the biggest red flag of all, that this thing was about to turn around big time. When you have inflation as high as it was 40 years ago, that's just a dead giveaway. Things are really fixing to change dramatically. They did increase interest rates today, 50 basis points, which they increased them a quarter, 25 basis points last time, and the mortgage rates went up 2%, right? It went from about 3.5 to 5.5. Not that much, like 1 3/4 or something like that. But the fact is, they just raised it a half. Last time they raised it a quarter. So we'll see how that affects interest rates, mortgage rates, over the next, couple days, couple weeks, couple months. It's going to be real interesting to see. The whole thing is very interesting in terms of how they're trying to, fight inflation here, what does happen with inflation, and, where we end up. Because honestly, as far as interest rates, it's really kind of hurting everybody, because, then it just adds to the interest that the government's paying on their own debt. So it all kind of, it's just a weird spider web, if you will. But nevertheless, we're in real estate, and we need to kind of pay attention to how all this is kind of affecting us in terms of our business. The first thing to realize, guys, and to understand that this is my moment. This is the moment that I've been waiting on for so long, because when I started coaching, my entire reason was to help reduce the failure rate in the industry. And the way I was going to do that was through number one, teaching people the hard lessons I had to learn around relationships over transactions. Closings happen every day, business is unlimited. I didn't know all that stuff coming in. But one way I was going to do it was try to bring awareness around these philosophies. But the second way is to try to prepare the industry for the fact that your business is not correlated to the market. And that, closings continue to happen every day regardless. Right? And do not walk into these market shifts with a sense of fear that your business will change, but you're not going to go out of business. And really, there's a lot of low-hanging fruit in any given part of the cycle. And that's what we need to kind of keep in mind here. Please stay with me here. Let's not get out of the business. Let's not think, oh, this whole thing's it's turning around for the better. Okay. Now, you guys can put in the chat. Have you guys seen over the last couple of weeks a little bit better inventory? Right? Has inventory increased just a tad? Right? Because I was just talking to an appraiser in Phoenix. He said 2 weeks ago they had a little over 5,000 active listings. Now they have a little over 6,000. It went from a little over 5 to a little over 6,000 extra listings, guys. In my market here, I went on a listing appointment this morning, and we were looking at the comps. Okay, 2 months ago there was one active listing in that building. Now there's 6 active listings in that building, and they're all sitting there. They're not selling. They're not getting a lot of activity. We have one of the 6. We know it's not getting activity, and so the listings are kind of piling up. So let me tell you kind of what. Let me give you the synopsis here. I can lay out this entire thing for you and tell you exactly how this thing is gonna play out here for you. The strategy for sellers over the last year and a half, or even 20 months, has been priced at 10% higher. Let's just say average-wise. Maybe they're pricing at 15 or 20, but whatever. they're pricing it, let's just use just a number, hypothetical, 10% higher than the last sale. They price it 10% higher than the last sale, and then what happens? They were getting multiple offers, it was selling even higher than that. That strategy has worked all the way up to now. And now what we're seeing is the delayed reaction of sellers who still feel like that strategy, they're still in the mindset because it's been working for 20 months, so they can continue to do that. And they can continue to price things higher than the last sale. Okay, but what's happening and why we're seeing inventory increase is because that strategy is not working anymore. You have to price the property exactly where the last one sold for, not higher. The demand is still there, guys. That's the good thing. See, that's the great thing about this market that we're entering into, is that inventory is going to be better. Demand is still going to be there. Even though we're losing some demand, it's still incredibly strong and going to continue to be. What I don't want to see is you guys that have been saying, no inventory, say, oh God, there's too much inventory. I don't want to see you switch your excuse from what the market was to now what the market is. I think I was right about this. And listen, guys, we're not always right? We're not always right, okay? We're not the gods of real estate. I've seen so many listings that I thought would never sell because it's too high, sell in a day. And you may still see some of those fluky, high-priced sales. And those are actually going to screw the market up because then sellers get the wrong impression about the market, and then they're going to say, well, that one sold, well, that was a fluke. That was a buyer who, something happened there, or they had to have it. There was something going on. So that's kind of my take on where we are kind of right this second. We've had about 2 or 3 weeks where we see more listings coming in. Of course, we are in the second home vacation market, so that market normally gets hit before the primary home market. I do feel like we're going to continue to see pressure on inventory in the primary home market because now you have people who are locked into really great interest rates, but that could change as demand comes down and inventory rises just a tad. If inventory rises just a tad on primary homes, now these primary homeowners that have been wanting to upgrade forever, they kind of have their choice. Yeah, they might make something happen. Because right now we haven't seen like prices come down. We're just seeing the pressure of demand starting to cool off. We're starting to see listings kind of increase. And so we haven't seen that we're not there yet to the decreasing. But once it gets to that point, they're all going to call you all at once. All the ones you've been building up that you thought you were wasting your time on, making all those calls and building those relationships and developing that list, they're going to call you all at once and say, sell it quick before it goes down even further.